Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome to 2 Minutes to Review. I'm Matt.
And I'm Zach.
If you haven't joined us for one of these before, what we're doing here is an album review, a movie review, whether it's old or new, in under 2 minutes. Who had the longest review? Kind of Price is Right rules. So, Zach, what are we doing today?
This episode, we are reviewing Devin Townsend's new album, Empath. And I don't want to speak for Matt, but I absolutely love almost everything that Devin Townsend does. To me, I think he's just one of the most unique voices in rock music.
He's not just one of the most unique voices. He's one of the most unique individuals.
Yes.
Because he is self-aware that what he's doing is not necessarily popular, not necessarily will gain him an ultra amount of fame, and he plays off of that, and it works really well for him.
Yeah.
But
I would say that he's probably one of the most underrated musicians.
Oh, hands
rock.
down. I think one of my favorite things recently, because anybody that I know that's into music is talking about this. One of the things that I've actually started watching on YouTube a lot of is people's reactions to his EMG performance of Kingdom.
Love that song.
It's such a great thing that he does there, because when they start coming into the episode, he's like, all right, this isn't the third take because I screwed up 3 times. No, it's really funny.
For someone who produces such over-the-top music, there's a sense of honesty with it.
Yeah.
Which I'm realizing we probably are going a little too much into right now before actually reviewing the album. But with that said, Matt, do you want to go first?
Sure, I will go first.
All right, do you want to do some
I am not even going to attempt it.
You want to try a Devin Townsend vocal scream?
Meow.
That video was great, by the way. With the kid.
My god! All right, I'm gonna. Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
So for me, I was watching a few reviews that a few episodes that Devin was doing about the album before it came out, and this actually I reached last night as soon as I was writing this review. He said the exact same thing that I'm going to say, is that he did this album as kind of a all-encompassment of his career. My thought initially was that if you cracked open Devin Townsend's head, this entirety of this album is what you would see inside of his head. Not only from a musical standpoint, like from Genesis and Spirits Will Collide, which is actually my favorite song on the album. It really highlights, I think, what he was going for with this whole thing. It's not just about him, that it was something much bigger than just him, because his whole career he's had a lot of different musicians support him, and a lot of different just eras that he went through, from Strapping Young Lad into all of his solo stuff. But I think Spirits Will Collide is just a great example of that, and Genesis with the lead music video that they did for this thing. It just shows what this album is. It's absolute ridiculousness at its finest for Devin. It's just such a great sounding album. Yeah, in the middle, maybe it gets a little bit kind of like, all right, where are we going with this from time to time? But then he just brings you right back in with some of the later tracks. And I will be completely honest, I did not have 22 minutes to listen to Singularity. It took a lot for me to get through, like 12 to 15 minutes. I'm like, all right, I gotta stop. But all in all, this is one of the finest albums that will come out of 2019, hands down.
That's a bold claim to end on.
Yes.
So, what's your star ranking?
We're going to go with 4.5.
Nice.
There's only a few things that I think misstep on this whole thing, and I'll get into that a little bit more in depth a little later on. But it's
my turn.
Let's get your review, sir.
All right, let me try to do a little vocal warm-up. That's the closest I can do for Devin Townsend. Yeah, it's terrible.
That's why I wasn't even going to try it. 3, 2, 1.
All right, simply put, Devin does it again. I mean, it's such an incredibly wide-ranging and frankly weird album, which you'd want from Devin Townsend. I and Borderlands especially are 2 songs that captures everything that makes Devin unique and incredible, especially with his vocal capabilities. Those 2 songs alone just is an oddball mixture of genres, whether it's like from extreme metal moments to suddenly he'll go into a Disney musical element. And on a more personal level, to be honest, I wasn't even sure if I was going to even bring this up, but screw it, let's do it. Spirits Will Collide. Even though it's, as he's called it, his Enya-inspired commercial song, to be honest, I've been going through a bit of a funk lately. Just random little, moments of just kind of like moments. And the positivity of this song and the message of just being able to stay strong in the face of darkness, it's really come at a right time for me right now. And I think that's just the power of music and the power of not just his lyrics, but just the more power of his voice. And it could be just simple 2 words that he just repeats over and over again, but his sincere voice and the power of his voice gives you a little hope. It gives you, it's almost like the cup of coffee you need in the morning. It's not going to necessarily, make your whole day better, but it's just going to give you the little extra boost you need to keep moving. So, admittedly, the album's long. It's a little hard to listen to certain portions, or it takes a little bit more what's the word I'm trying to look for? It takes a little bit more effort to listen through it from top to finish. But if you're looking for proof that Devin Townsend really is the mad musical genius that he is, Empath is the proof.
Okay. Star rating.
I'd also give it 4.5 stars.
Okay.
Because it is long. There's definitely portions that you gotta really it takes a little bit more extra strength to make you focus.
Right. Yeah. That's one of the missteps
That's with every Devin Townsend release, though.
Some of them, yeah. I would argue that a couple of the big missteps, like the last track. I mean, shit. He out-times Dream Theater.
Yeah.
I mean, that's saying something. And to see that maybe being performed live at some point in time, it's like, oh no. Some people like, oh my God, it's Devin Townsend. I can't sit through a 22-minute song. I like Empath, and Empath, time's up there with certain tracks. I'm tired of those tracks, but
with that said, I think the moments that really are powerful make you kind of
it does
forget and forgive the slower moments.
Right. That's only like on one track, really. I mean, there's a couple of other ones that are longer, but I can get through those. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really found myself kind of struggling with this album was his vocals on certain songs. Not that they're not great, that they don't cut enough through the mix. They blend a little bit too well with everything else that's going on. Oh God, I forget the track. It might be that Disney inspired.
Why?
Yeah, it might be a little bit on that.
I actually thought that song was so perfect.
It was so weird.
I loved every second of it.
Right. It's. I always wondered if Devin Townsend ever wanted to go into opera, and that one kind of was like,
Well, not only does that song, I think, prove he did or would like to at least experiment more of that, but. So one of the things, kind of going back to the song Kingdom, that I love, his vocal performance is so incredible on that. And to me, it's almost, I had the same thought back to why it's like, oh my God, this is incredible at how he's just capturing his vocal range. And as a guy who actually, as a sucker for a good Broadway musical, this song made me going, all right, I may not ever get to see Devin Townsend in a Broadway musical, but at least I have this song. This is the closest I might ever get to hearing him do a musical, and at least I have this.
Right, and that was one of the things between Kingdom and this album that were a little bit different for me, was the fact that cut, he had such cut in Kingdom to get through his wall of sound that he makes, that his vocal performance stood out. Here, it felt like it was just a little bit short.
I hear that on different tracks. I would actually argue that Why was the one where it really did stand out. I feel like
it still could have cut a little bit more. But once again, that's just, if that's what we're talking about is the production of his vocal cut.
Yeah.
Okay, then this is a great album. There's one other area, the artwork.
Yeah. Did you get the booklet yet?
I didn't get the booklet, but I've seen...
You've seen images of the booklet.
I've seen images of it, yeah.
Because I have the booklet, and you literally are going through each page, and the artwork inside is breathtaking. Okay. It's just so beautiful. And you're looking at certain images, you're like... So this is why I'm wondering if maybe some of the artwork would be for the special edition ones, because I agree that the artwork itself, it's like, oh, that's kind of pretty. I love the colors on it, but when you look at the booklet, artwork, you're like, why couldn't that be the cover?
Right. And then for the outlandishness that he did for the music videos, wow. Like, everything else is so big. Everything else is so, like, weird and interesting. And, oh, did you see that? That the cover of the album, it's like...
I mean, I think maybe part of it, because I think it's like, the colors do pop.
Yeah, but
on the white and those, like, the rainbow color. I almost want to make it almost... I would like to think of it as, listen, you've gotten this far, for, you know, as a thank you for, you know, taking a chance on this cover. Here's a little treat, and it's really like inside. It's maybe it's his own. It's almost his way of recognizing that what he does isn't going to be for everyone. So it's just like, hey, this is what the album is, but then inside is a treat for those who really are willing to explore further, who are willing to take the time to listen to the album from start to finish.
That's a fair enough point. But like I said, the music videos for this thing are insane. So if you've never watched the Devin Townsend music video, or if you haven't watched music videos in like the past 20 years, because you're like, they still make music videos, go check out the 3 videos for this album.
Each of them are really fun.
Genesis, I was expecting the octopus to start talking to him at some point. That was a letdown, but still, it was still kind of funny in its own right. Like, all this other randomness is happening, and then it's just this octopus. The cat in the spaceship.
That was so much fun.
Evermore. And then the spirits will collide. Elephants playing drums that are speakers, and Harambe playing guitar. It's
like it really is just like what you'd want from an all-out intergalactic concert.
Yeah.
That's what Spirits Will Collide is. The video for it. Before we start revealing any scores, or for, the times, any other additional thoughts on the album?
Get it, listen to it, and if you don't understand Devin Townsend, at least give the album a try and go back and listen to at least a couple of songs from like the past 5 to 10 years of Devin Townsend, and then listen to maybe a track or two of Strapping Young Lad, just to understand where all of this is coming from, because like I said, it's an all-encompassment of his career.
Yeah. I really do. I feel like this album incorporated a lot more of the Euro pop dance stuff that he was incorporating in Addicted, which is really the album that made me a fanboy of Devin Townsend. So to me, I was so excited that it kind of took a lot of the strong elements of Addicted and amped it up with even more weirdness. So if you're a fan of Addicted especially, I think you're going to be really happy with this album. But to Matt's point, I think if you just want to understand who Devin Townsend is, this is a great album to start with, and then to go down the rabbit hole of Devin Townsend's catalog.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now the point of this fun little game that we've done. Matt, would you like to know your score?
Yes.
Drum roll, please.
We definitely need a better drum machine than this.
Your laps are working really well. 1 minute and 47 seconds.
Respectable.
Yes.
Respectable.
And 3, 4, whatever the hell that is. But yes.
Okay.
My turn.
Your time is probably the closest time that we've ever come to 2 minutes without going over. 1 minute, 59 and 69 hundredths of a second.
I won!
You can't.
Wow.
You really can't come much closer.
I just made it.
And that's exactly how this game is played.
It's a Cinderella story of one man making a huge comeback after going way over the last few episodes. Wow, 1 minute and 59? Well, I'm going to never let anyone forget the fact that I won this episode, especially this episode, because I love this album so much. I'd like to thank my agent. I'd like to thank the Academy. Wrong award show. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. We want to hear your thoughts on the album. Let us know what you think. Leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even YouTube at Epic Footnotes. And we hope that we hear from you about this album and that you tune in next time.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Thanks so much.